Hi, my name is Joe, maker of weird and strange instruments, and today I will be revisiting one of the first projects I did for this channel. The project I'm talking about is where I controlled the synthesizer with a NES controller. Since that video I got a lot of questions if I also sell this Nintendo controller MIDI adapter. So today I will be making a product instead of a prototype. There were a lot of things I need to do, but let's start with soldering all of the electronics to this PCB board I designed for this project. Okay, I already found my first design flaw. The Arduino is a little bit longer than I calculated, so now the USB port and the MIDI port aren't aligned. So there are two things I can do. I can order some new PCBs or make a really wonky funky case for this thing. I think I'm going with the second option, and luckily I didn't order 100 of these PCBs but just 10. So let's solder all of the other electronic parts. So the soldering is done. If you look closely, I've added some buttons and an RGB LED. The buttons are for selecting different playing modes, and the RGB LED will correspond its color to the playing mode you have selected. Now let's plug this thing into my computer and see if everything works. And after that I need to write some new code for the features I've added. I've programmed a little testing program that blinks a LED when I push a button on the Nintendo controller, and it looks like I have connected everything correctly. Now I will write another little testing program to see if I connected this RGB LED properly, and maybe turn this thing in a little raver party device. All of the features are connected correctly, and now it's finally time to design that funky wonky case for this device. Before I print the whole part, I always print some test parts to see if everything fits. Here you can see all of my test parts. The first one was a total fail because I got the dimensions wrong and it's way too big. The second one didn't have enough clearance at the USB port. And the third one was perfect. Now I have all of the dimensions right, I will design the rest of the case. The only thing that can go wrong now if I somehow miscalculate the holes for the ports in the case. There are still some air gaps where the dust can get in, and I need to come up with a solution for those air gaps. The air gaps are gone. The only thing I have to do now is design some buttons and bring the RGB LED up from the PCB so it sticks out over here. case is done, and now I will program a sort of user interface to select between all of the different playing modes by just pushing these two buttons. Almost 2 weeks have passed now and I'm finally done with writing all of the code for this device's user interface, and this is what I come up with. If you press the first button of the case, you can select between 3 different playing modes. Red stands for melody playing mode, blue is finger drumming mode, and green is gaming mode. The melody mode is for playing different melodies. Let me show you. In the melody mode you can play different scales. I've just chosen a major scale. You just saw me pushing a few buttons, and there is a sort of logic to playing a scale. If you press up and B, you'll play the first note of the scale. If you press right and B, the second, down and B is the third, and left and B will be your fourth note. Now if you press up again and A, you will go to your fifth note. Right and A, 6, and down and A is 7, and left and A is your octave. So if you make a full circle 2 times, you played a scale. You can even transpose everything 1 octave up by just pressing start. Or a few octaves down by just pressing select. The finger drumming mode is perfect for, you guessed it, finger drumming. In this mode every button is mappable to your favorite drum computer or sampler. And in gaming mode you can use your controller to play your favorite games on your computer. You can even use gaming and finger drumming mode at the same time. This is so hard. Those are the 3 main uses for this device, but what if you want to change your musical scale or change your button mapping for your drum computer? You can change a lot of those options in the device itself. Let's go back to the melody mode and look at a few options you can change. Let's say I want to change the musical scale or maybe transpose my scale. But it's pretty easy, you just have to press the second button and now you are in the option menu, recognizable by the blinking light. Now if I press left or right, I can select a different scale. And you will even hear that scale you have selected. If you press A again, you will hear your selected scale. Every scale is recognizable by its own color and you can select up to 4 different scales. So this is the purple one, this is the red one, the yellow one, and the blue one. Ooh, I really like that yellow one. Now if I press the option button again, I can play some melodies with the scale I've selected. Now if you want to transpose your musical scale, that's also very easy. Go back to the option menu and press up to transpose your scale up, or press down to transpose your scale down. Nice. But if you really like your scale but you just want to edit the second note of your scale, you just go to the option menu again by pressing the second button. Now if you press select, you will go into the edit scale menu, recognizable by the faster blinking light. Now if I press left or right, I can select different notes of my scale. And the root note or the first note of your scale is always recognizable by the color of your scale. So I've selected the yellow scale, so my first tone is yellow. Now if I want to select the second note, I just count up from the root. So I'm now at 1, and 2. If I press A again, I will hear that note again. Now I can transpose this one semitone up or down by just pressing up or down. Let's hear that scale again. You can even save all of the options you have made by just holding the second button and waiting until the blinking is done, and then you have saved your scale. So now if I turn the power off and turn the power back again, I can still use my edited scale. Cool. There is even one more option in the melody option menu. You can also change the MIDI channel of your device. It's very easy, just go back to the melody option menu and hold start. Now if I press the A button 3 times, I will go to MIDI channel 3, and if I press it 10 times, I will go to MIDI channel 10. But I just going to press it 1 time because my synth is at MIDI channel 1. This is a very nice feature if you work with more synths and they all have their own MIDI channel. So those are all of the options in the melody mode. Now let's go to the finger drummer mode and see what options you have. Let's select finger drummer mode and press the second button to go into the options menu. There are 4 different MIDI mappings you can choose by selecting left or right, and every MIDI mapping is recognizable by its own color, such as in the melody mode. If you want to edit a button of your selected button mapping, press select and you will go into the edit mapping menu, recognizable by the faster blinking light. After pressing select, the first button you will press will be the button that you can edit, so you can choose another sound. Let's press B. Now if you press up or down, you can choose another sound on your sampler or drum computer. Let's select that snare. Press A to hear it again, and if you press select, you will go into the normal option menu and press the buttons on the case, and you can test your device out. Cool. Such as in the melody mode, you can even change the MIDI channel of this device by holding start and press A a few times. Those are all of the options in the finger drumming mode. Now let's go to the gaming mode. The gaming mode only has one option. If you press the second button on the device itself, we will go into the gaming mode option menu, recognizable by the blinking light. Then if you press left or right, you will select between game mode with or without MIDI output. So you can play a game and practice your finger drumming at the same time. The MIDI output is always connected to the options you have selected in your finger drumming mode. So if you want to edit what every button does on your drum computer or sampler, you have to edit that in your finger drumming mode options. There is also one last thing you can do when you don't like all of the options you have made. You can reset your device by holding the second button on the case. Then when you see a blinking light, you will also need to hold the first button. Then when the device doesn't blink anymore, you have reset your device. That were all of the options of this beautiful device. If you really like what I've made and you're still watching this video, leave a like and follow me on YouTube. At the moment I'm making a lot of these Nintendo MIDI controllers. You can buy one of these MIDI controllers from my website at www.jwotto.com. Links are in the description. Thank you for watching this video and see you next time.